So in this lesson, we're going to go over how to convert improper fractions to mixed numbers. We've got two things on our agenda. One, we're going to make sure that we go over the three-step process to convert from improper fractions into mixed numbers. And the second thing on our agenda, we've got 4 examples we've got to do. I'll do 2, then you'll do 2. Coming up on the math review. So here's our first example, 42 over 5. This is an improper fraction because the top of the fraction is bigger than the bottom of the fraction. Now there are 3 steps to convert an improper fraction into a mixed number. Step number 1, we need to divide the numerator, or the top of the fraction, by the denominator, which is the bottom of the fraction. The result of this division is going to give us the whole number in our mixed number. So let's set this up as a long division problem. We'll have the 42, we'll put it inside the house, and we'll have the 5 outside the house. And so we'll divide 42 by 5. Well, 5 can go into 42 8 whole times. And since it can go into 42 8 whole times, that's the whole number in our mixed number. So 8 times 5 is 40. And what we'll do is we'll subtract 40 from 42. That will give us 2. And that'll bring us to step 2, which is to make the remainder the numerator. Our remainder here was 2. So that's going to be the numerator in our mixed number. And step 3 is pretty simple. We're just going to keep the denominator. Our original denominator was 5, so we're going to keep that as 5. And so even though we started off with 42 over 5 as our improper fraction, the proper way to write that as a mixed number is 8 and 2 over 5. So here's our second example, 21 over 8. Remember, for step 1, we're going to have to take our numerator, or the top, and divide it by our denominator, which is the bottom. So we're going to set it up like this, where we divide 21 by 8. And how many times can 8 go into 21 without going over? Well, that would be 2 whole times, because 2 times 8 is 16. And now we can subtract that. So we can't do 1 minus 6, so we're going to have to borrow from this 2. So this 2 will become a 1. And this 1 will now become an 11. And 11 minus 6 is going to be 5. And since we have the 2 up top, our 5 below, and our denominator, we now have everything we need in order to make our mixed number. The first step gives us our whole number. That would be the value 2. The remainder will give us our numerator, which is the number 5. So I'll put that right here. And the denominator we started off with was 8. So we'll keep that the same the way it says in step 3. And we'll put that here. So our final answer is 2 and 5 over 8. Now remember, those 3 steps are really important. So you need to make sure you do them nice and slow. Oh, and here are the next 2 examples. Pause the video and try them on your own. Good luck! So here's example 3. 31 over 4. So remember, step 1 is to divide the top of the fraction by the bottom of the fraction. So let's set that up as a division problem. We'll use long division notation, and we'll put 31 inside of the division house. How many times can 4 go into 31 without going over? Well, that would be 7 whole times. Because 7 times 4 is 28. When we do our subtraction, we can't subtract 8 from 1. So we'll borrow from 3, making that a 2. And this 1 will now become 11. So now we've got 11 minus 8, which is 3. And so now we've got our whole number here, our remainder here, and our denominator here. So we have everything we need in order to make a mixed number. So our whole number will be 7, because 4 can go into 31 7 whole times. The remainder will become our numerator, so we'll put that here, and our denominator, which was 4, will stay the same, and we'll put that here. So our final answer is 7 and 3 over 4. And here's our last example, 104 over 15. The numbers are a little bit big, but it's the same idea. We'll follow our 3 steps and we won't have any problems at all. Step 1, we're going to divide the top by the bottom. So let's set up our long division notation where we put 104 inside the division house. And then we've got to ask ourselves how many times 15 can go into 104 without going over. Well, that's 6 times, because 6 times 15 is 90. And now we'll subtract 104 minus 90. 4 minus 0 is just 4. We can't do 0 minus 9, so we'll borrow from this 1. So this 1 will become a 0, and this 0 will become a 10. So we've got 10 minus 9, which gives us 1. So now we've got our whole number, our remainder, and our denominator, so we've got everything we need to make our mixed number. 15 went into 104 6 total times. So that's going to be our whole number and our mixed number. The remainder is going to become our numerator, and that's 14. So we'll put that right here. And our denominator is going to stay exactly the same. So we'll put 15, our denominator, right below 14, and that makes our final answer 6 and 14 over 15. All right, so here's what you have to do next. If you got one question right on your own, then you've got to smash that like button. And if you got both questions correct, you have to hit the subscribe button. And if you think you could teach this, you got to share this video wherever you can. Thanks for watching.